I think honestly just being with this movie and feeling like we're here for a good reason, you know, with an important subject and just bringing light to that, you know.
Gentlemen, looking right here for me real quick. One more time. And right next to you guys?
I was, you know, I had both of them for guidance, and, you know, I had this time weirdly where I would get sort of ready in the morning, and then sometimes, you know, this great prosthetics artist, Mike Marino, who came on and did us a favor and helped us with this, and then he had to go into another job, and then I would walk around the city, and it was just really incredible and scary and anxious to kind of even just experience what the reaction was. And sometimes people either would respond in these extremes, you know, they would either like totally avoid you or they would overcompensate and everything, and it's like if you're talking to them about it, it's not neither of those are the right approaches, but the only way to get more comfortable around it is if we have more exposure to it and just kind of like awareness of like our own initial instincts and feelings around it when it happens. So that's why I hope that people will watch the movie, you know, and maybe think about that a little bit.
And this side, Sebastian, over here.
Around the city, was that because of the makeup artist having to leave to another set, or was it?
Yes, he was. Well, I mean, yeah, it was also because he had another job to go to, and then, you know, I didn't have a lot of time before we started, so it was anytime I had to kind of just be able to experience that for myself and just, you know, then it was great. So yeah, it was both a little bit.
I hope you get to keep it. Just don't return it.
And back to me again.
I think should we describe it?
I thought it was genius. I think it's a really clever way of telling a very complicated story. And it's just so multifaceted and multi-layered. And I think a lesser director would have really struggled with finding those nuances and those touch points. Whereas Aaron just seems to get it. He's from like the disabled and disfigurement community as well, so he gets it. Because the thing with disabilities, you don't get it till you get it. Like you only understand it in the abstract, and I think it highlights the real difference between a disabled writer and director doing this film and a non-disabled writer-director sort of having a go at a disability story. The difference in execution can be cavernous.
Rare, but getting less rare roles where the disability isn't a raison d'etre for the character.
Well, again, there's no one size fits all to this. Disabled people and disabled actors aren't monoliths, and everyone's going to have different needs. And I think step one is just having a conversation with the actors and the cast and the crew and everyone involved, just simply sitting down and saying, what can we do for you to make you be your best self on this production, and then doing it. And if you make the world accessible to disabled people, you make it accessible for everyone. I think that's the thing that we all forget.
And like going to different coffee shops. And yeah, what do you like? What's the best stuff? Like the food, the restaurants. Yeah, so good. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I've always, Sundance has always been a goal of mine, and I think that, you know, they have a reputation here of sort of warm, welcoming audiences, and, you know, I've played some films in other festivals where maybe the humor doesn't translate, or people maybe are a little more hostile to the film. I mean, who knows? Anything can happen in the next 2 hours, but, you know, I think that it seems like it'll be a friendly audience unless, you know, everyone turns against the film.
What were those emotions that you felt when you found out that it would be so like the average one a day?
I felt really honored, and I felt really relieved because I know not getting into festivals with my other films was very crushing, and so to have this and to know that it was happening was, you know, a great weight lifted off, and I felt like, you know, the film was in the right place. So.
back to me. It was like, last time I was saying more you